Hi, welcome to Esther's Laguna Woods Show, where every guest matters. Today we have a special guest. He's a Holocaust survivor, and his name is Sam Silberberg. And today we're going to talk about his experience.
Well,
Part 2. Today it's part 2. Yeah, so last time
as we were walking, as I told you, we were walking in our shackle, and I saw this woman dwelling in the show, realizing it was my mother.
Yeah.
She happened to have left her contact information within the contingent where my father was. She hoped that she can get together with my father.
Yeah.
But of course that was impossible. So she left the contact information with my father, and then as we got that information, my father goes and says to me, you see, you should never abandon hope, because here it is, your mother came. Now it's a whole different story.
Let's talk about your experiences there. They did Lysol. They sprayed Lysol on you, on you. Lysol to clean.
Oh, they had disinfectant.
Yes.
The disinfectants were awful because we were, as a matter of fact,
Yeah.
the Germans, the way they shaved our head,
Yeah.
they shaved our head,
Yeah.
and they shaved in the middle. They had a very close shave,
Yeah.
which they called the Lausenstrasse in German, which means the street for the lice to walk.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Okay.
And it was terrible because with the lack of food, and you were infected with pesticides and lice. The lice were so deep in my skin, it was awful. They were all over my chest and havoc. There's nothing much we could do about it because that's what it was.
Yeah.
And again, the very fact that my mother showed up,
Yeah.
which was in itself a very daring thing for a person to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just comes to show you the strength of a Yiddish mama, which can do that type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Only a woman devoted. So we found out that she was working in a monastery, in a Catholic monastery, as a non-Jew. And the question was, how can we get to establish contact with my mother?
Yeah.
So we tried all sorts of ways to find somebody to contact. Finally, my boss, for who I worked for,
Yeah.
who was a welder, but he had a limp
Yeah.
because he was injured on the Russian front,
Yeah.
and he was not too excited about what the Nazis are doing, offered to be helpful. So my father said, test him out. Ask him a hypothetical question. If, let's say, you have an aunt someplace or somebody, and you need to contact her, would he be willing to maintain a contact? So when I asked him this, he responded positively. He said he would be willing to go in contact. So it was then that we asked him to contact my mother. And he brought back many goodies and food, and it was really a source of encouragement. So my father said to me, you see, you should never lose hope, because here it is, you got contact with your mother.
During the time when you were in the concentration camp, you used to go out at the black market and get food?
No, that was not during the concentration camp. That was during the time we were in the ghetto.
Oh,
During
the
the
ghetto.
concentration camp, there was no way
Oh.
You could get any kind of help from the outside, except for the fact that we were in the industrial complex where there were prisoners of war from all sorts of nations. There were French prisoners of war,
yeah.
there were English prisoners of war, there were Russian and American
Yeah.
prisoners of war. Even so, officially, we could not maintain a contact with them. We did, and we were having contact with the British who had clandestine radio information about the progress of the war. So that helped us very much. As a matter of fact, again, we were in the industrial complex, and the only way we could escape if there were Allied planes coming and bombarding it. At one occasion, I had the situation where Allies, there was an alarm. And following that alarm, we were not allowed to go into bunkers or to be protected. That's only for Germans and others. Concentration camp members were not allowed to be in safety. In any case, during one of the alarms, I was able to escape the industrial complex and be completely out and free.
Yes.
And planes flew by without bombing.
Yeah.
I was left with a dilemma.
Go back.
Do I stay out or go back? I knew that since there was no bombing, if I escaped, the result would be that they would kill 10 other prisoners, including my father. Obviously, it's a hell of a dilemma for a 14-year-old, 15-year-old kid to have. But that's the dilemma I was in.
So you went back.
So I went back, and so on.
Tell us about the death march. I mean,
Well,
it's going to be another...
Conditions in concentration camps were awful.
Yeah.
People were dying from starvation and so on, as you know. Finally, come January of 1945,
Yes.
we could hear the Russians advancing. We could hear the Russian artillery from where we were and so on. So on January 21 of 1945, the Germans decided to evacuate the camp of 4,800 prisoners into Germany so they can dig trenches to do more defenses against the Russians and so on.
So they used you when you left. They wanted to use you.
We were walking in snow.
Yes.
We were walking in snow without being given any food, and we were overnighted in abandoned barns in German villages that the German peasants abandoned because they were afraid of the Russian advance.
Yeah.
So we were there.
Yeah.
But
you were walking.
we were not given any food.
Nothing.
We had to live on snow. We were able to put in our canisters and melt it while we were in the barn. So we had some water to sustain us.
Because of the ice. I mean, because
People
of the snow.
were dying like flies, left and right.
While you were walking.
Conditions were so bad, it was awful. And we were marching
How many days? How many days? I mean, how many miles a day and how many days?
I was not aware of how many miles we were forced to march.
Yeah.
And so on. So it started on a Sunday.
Yeah.
The march started on a Sunday.
Yeah.
And we were marching until it was nightfall, and then they would put us into barns to overnight us, never giving us food. But we were known, in order to survive, we need water.
Yeah.
So we packed the canisters. I was with my father. things were going every day was more difficult than the previous
People
day.
just died.
Because people were dying from starvation and dysentery. As a matter of fact, and as we were walking on the third day,
Yeah.
I saw a sign which said, Nice and Neustadt is 38 kilometers. And I said to my father, you know something? This is where my mother was located. That's
Yeah,
how
you
I
know
knew
that,
it.
yeah.
So I said, why don't we hide ourselves in the barn?
Yeah.
But as we decided we're going to hide ourselves in the barn
Yeah.
in order to escape the march and so on, because at that point the Germans were not counting
Yeah.
the number of prisoners,
Yes.
and there was no ramification to anyone but the escape. But so the following morning, they woke us up in order us to march before dawn.
What do you mean?
When it was
Before
still
dawn.
dark, they
Okay,
got
yes,
us up
yes, yes.
to march. So we weren't able to hide in the snow and so on. So when it came by Friday, which was the 26th of January, again, it started the
When you were marching, where were they, the Germans? Were they on horses or I mean?
the Germans, they were both. They were on horses and on motorcycles.
Well, you were
And
marching.
the horses, we were forced to march. And if you couldn't march, people, as a matter of fact, it was so difficult to march or carry anything.
Yeah.
I know we had to have the canister because we had to have a
Water,
means
yeah.
of melting the snow.
Yeah.
But people, the blankets
Yeah.
that we were carrying,
Yeah.
people, it was too difficult, it was so hard that we abandoned the blankets, but we knew that at the end of the day there will be some corpse with a blanket that I'd be able to
So
get
to
it.
get it without
That is-
carrying it.
Yeah, without having to carry it,
Yeah.
to make it easier for you to walk. It was just awful knowing that this is the circumstance.
So every day you saw people dying while you were walking.
People were dying.
Just drop dead.
The reason they died because they were struck by dysentery. This is
Yes.
this is
yeah.
the bowels, the loose bowels.
Some people had, you told me that they had shoes that are made out of wood, and it was very hard to walk.
Most of all the concentration camp supply shoes were
With wood.
wooden soles and
Yeah.
so on, so that while they walk on snow, the snow would accumulate underneath and make it real bubbly for them to go and walk. So they actually couldn't maintain the speed.
Yeah, yeah.
This plus the onset of dysentery made it impossible, and that's how they failed and died on the side of the street. It was an awful sight. This happened finally when it came Friday, the 26th of January, as they were leading us out of the village into the main road. They halted us. I was fortunate because while we were in concentration camp working in the industrial complex, we had contact with French and British prisoners of war.
Yeah.
So I was able to get some leather shoes, so on, for me and my father, and some sweaters that we would keep under the striped uniform, because this was not allowed for us to have. So Friday, while they were leading us out onto the road, from the village to the main road, at the intersection, they stopped us because there were columns of German tracks and so on, as well as a long column of French prisoners of war that were also led from there. And while we were standing on that intersection, allowing them to pass by, my father decided to say a morning prayer, the Kaddish, the Hebrew morning prayer, because it was the anniversary of the death of our grandfather. While he was saying that morning prayer, I noticed the Nazi guard turning his back to us because he was looking for something in his horse and carriage. So while he was looking, I decided to throw off my striped prisoner uniform, poke my father on the shoulder, and told him that I'm going.
Yes.
So when I went out. There were a bunch of German kids watching this sight of prisoners, and I was saying, and I was cursing the Jews in German, saying, "You lousy Jew bastards," and so on, so that they don't think I am one of them. And I walked by. By that time, I was the trauma of changing from a prisoner to a free man.
It was unbelievable.
Twisted my guts, and I had to relieve myself. I already had a slight dysentery, which I didn't want to tell my father, because I knew this is the advent of death. So I didn't want to alarm him. So I went on the side of the road behind a pile of snow to relieve myself, and I passed out at that point. I don't know what happened, and I don't know the time. But when I woke up, I saw two guys walking who were deserters from the Russian army who were also run away from the Russians. So I asked them for a piece of bread. They gave me a piece of bread, but it was frozen. And I didn't have the strength to bite in it. And as I was walking with the German civilians who were escaping the Russian onslaught. And there was this German woman telling me repeating the propaganda line of Goebbels, saying how the Jews are financing the war and it's their fault and all this. And I had to keep my mouth shut, which was a difficult thing to do, and so on. But I noticed a horse and buggy with a kettle on it. And on the front was a French prisoner of war, the chef, and a German guard. And I went on the stoop and back of the kettle and poked the French prisoner of war and told him, "Monsieur, je suis, s'il vous plaît, un pain de pain." I told him in French, "Look, I'm Jewish.
You know French?
Would you please give me a piece of bread?" I knew it, I learned, enough from the interaction on the Baustelle,
with the POWs.
Which is the industrial complex,
with the POWs.
We went with the other prisoners. So he gave me a bowl of soup and a piece of bread, and I want to tell you, heaven had never tasted better.
So then you end up finding your mother.
Then I go to the monastery where my mother was. I mean, it was a very eventful, because here it is, the kid is not used to anything. I come on the steps of the monastery, I open the door, and I see this gorgeous, clean place with a stairwell and beautiful wooden banister and so on. And next to me was this statue of Christ, and I was afraid what do I do? I was afraid to say anything because I didn't want to give my mother up. So I stayed behind the statue of Christ. I see this woman walking down the stairs, and my heart is palpitating. I'm afraid. I don't know what to do. And finally, I see the woman going back. So I finally managed enough strength to say to her, "Excuse me, please. Do you know a certain woman by the name of Barbara Siegmund?" She said, "Yeah," in German. "Ich bin das. Wer sind Sie denn eigentlich?" "I am the one. Who are you, actually?" So I said to her, "Mama,
Oh my
don't you
God.
recognize me?"
Oh my God.
It was I get chills.
Oh my
goosebumps
God.
whenever
She didn't
I-
recognize you. She
No.
didn't recognize
No,
you.
she didn't
Because you
recognize
got
me. I
older.
didn't. She thought I'm a chauffeur for the
wow.
Germans that came to pick up
Yes,
their,
yes. Oh my God.
their parents and so on. So, and again, when you are so starved, and she had tea and cookies for the Germans,
Yeah.
for the German parents.
Yeah.
So I was trying to grab it.
Yeah, yeah.
And she said to me, "No, no, no, don't. Go out. I'll follow you." So she went up, she followed me. I was taken to another monastery where an aunt of mine was, and we were there. It was an agricultural monastery that had a summer residence.
So then at one point, you left your mother. You left your mother. At one point, you left, you said, "Okay, I'm leaving." And where did you go?
No, at that point, we were hidden by my aunt who had an agricultural monastery, and she was able to feed us with the milk when she milked the cows and so on, and potatoes from the pigs. We were fine. We were liberated by the Russians.
See, it's 5 more minutes. Okay, at one point, you left your mother, and then you went to Palestine. I mean,
I had a very... After the war, when we came back to Poland, we realized that we can't back to any of our possessions.
Yeah, you went by one time your house and other people were living there.
You're right.
And then you told me that your father put jewelry on the wall, but you never found them. I mean, you never looked for them, but you never found them.
We were not able to access any of this
The house.
because the houses were occupied by Polish people, which took possession of them.
Yeah.
So we were not able to live.
Okay, we have
Poland was very anti-Semitic at that time.
We have 3 more minutes.
And
so,
I decided to go and join a youth organization to go to Palestine.
Yeah.
My mother took me to the railroad station. It was a very, very torturous separation. And as the train was almost moving to leave, she said to me, "Don't leave me alone." So I said to her, "Look, Mom, maybe you could afford to lose a husband and 3 children. I don't want it to happen to me. I got to go and join a Zionist organization and go to Palestine where I can be free without the torment of anti-Semitism and so on." It was then that I left and joined the Zionist organization. We went to Hungary. Then we smuggled a bunch of orphans back to go to West Germany. And
then you went with a boat? You went with a boat?
All this time, we went... Later, we went to Marseille. We were hidden in a nut house so that the British won't find us. Finally, went to the Spanish border and boarded a boat where we went, and we were taken to Cyprus. In Cyprus, I was sworn in to the Haganah, which was the Israeli Defense Forces.
Yeah.
And that's where I got the training. And I had, and during the training, I broke a leg. So the British gave me preference to go to Palestine. So on my 18th birthday, I came to Palestine, and I fought in the War of Independence of the State of Israel.
Wow.
And
How did you fight? I mean, you didn't have that much guns or anything like that. You
we
fought
didn't have guns. At that point, we were fortunate to be supplied ammunition from old German factories that were in Czechoslovakia, and I was honored to be able to get a semi-automatic machine gun,
Yeah?
which is called an MGM.
Yeah.
And I have pictures in the book
Yeah.
showing
Yeah.
us marching with the gun and having training. And I participate, and I'm very proud.
And you have
When you
hand
think,
grenade.
when you think of a
From the age of 9, from the age of 9 to the age of 18, nothing but wars and fights. You, from the age of 9 to 18.
But there was a very great feeling of accomplishment
Yes.
and pride
Yes.
that I could overcome
Yes.
my past tortures,
Yes.
experiences, and participate in the establishment and fight for what is right. My constant argument was when Jews were being persecuted, went to the slaughterhouse, and all they were able to say is Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. That's why I had such great respect for the martyrs of the Warsaw Ghetto, which were fighting in 1943, and they were able.
They had an uprising.
The Warsaw was the only uprising where Jews fought.
Yeah, yeah.
The Nazis.
For about a month, you told me.
They kept the Nazis from occupying the ghetto for over a month. That's long.
A whole month.
The Nazis occupied Poland in 3 days, but the uprising of Warsaw Ghetto managed to keep the Nazis away for a month.
One more minute we have. Well, this book is really good. This book is really good. What's the name of the book?
The name of the book is From Hell to the Promised Land, and the reason I wrote it is I wanted that to be a testament, both for my kids and grandchildren, that
and where can they find it?
And having faith,
yeah,
and fighting for your rights is very important, and it's very meaningful. And I'm very proud that I was able to participate and leave this as a testament to future generations.
They should make a movie about it. Really should.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So what is your philosophy on life? I mean, you told me live and let live. That's your philosophy.
My philosophy is that people universally are the same.
Yeah.
And you should allow for differences of both religious and other, because at the end, we are all human beings, and tolerance of each other is very important. Yes. Without animosity, and find the good in people.
You can find this book at Amazon, and what else? Where else?
It is at Amazon. And you can Google my name, and because I speak at different institutions.
Sam Silberberg.
You are part of a group.
Okay, it was so nice having you here. We're running out of time. Thank you for watching, and next time we'll have another interesting guest. Thank you.